Do you want to know why you in some cases might not get paid from paid service sites when you complete surveys? And do you want to know what mistakes to avoid so you can make sure that you actually will get paid? Then this video is for you. My name is Michael from paidfromservice.com, and I have taken thousands of paid surveys online over the last few years, and it definitely is a real way to earn, but sometimes people also do experience that they will not get paid when they have taken surveys. This is not because service sites are scams, it is very often because of particular reasons, and if you know these reasons and know which mistakes to avoid, then you can also make sure that you will get paid when you take surveys. So before we go over the mistakes you need to avoid when you take paid surveys so you actually will get paid, then let me just first make it clear that of course there are scam service sites. I'm talking about the legit service sites that actually pays now. And sometimes I get questions from people saying that they have not been paid for a survey they completed, or they've been blocked for a service site or something like that. And then they claim all service sites are scams, and that is actually not true. Yes, there are scams you need to stay away from. And I have more information about how to spot those on my website, and will of course leave a link to that below this video here. But in some cases you can end up not getting paid even though it is a legit site if you make certain mistakes. So let's now go over 6 mistakes you definitely need to make sure to avoid. So the first mistake you need to avoid is to speed through surveys, because this is a very common error. And I just show you inside one service site now here, and you can see usually you will see an estimated time whenever you take a survey. For example, in this case here, it says that the time is estimated to be 10 minutes. And this is based on what it on average takes to complete this specific survey. It doesn't mean that it has to be exactly 10 minutes you spend doing it, but usually this estimate is quite accurate, and they know that if suddenly I manage to complete this survey here in just 3 or 4 minutes, it is very likely because I have just clicked random answers and moved through the survey as fast as possible to just get paid and not care about the answers. Because you have to remember that the reason we can get paid to take paid service is that some companies are interested in this feedback, because they actually do listen to this and they use this feedback. And if they just get random answers, it is of course useless for them, and then they're of course not interested in paying for it. So if you speed through surveys, then there is a chance that you definitely will not get paid for that particular survey, and in some cases you might even get completely banned from taking any other survey on that particular site. Another thing you need to avoid is to use a fake profile, because on most service sites you can fill out a profile, and this will help the different service sites to actually find the surveys you have the biggest chance of qualifying for. And I'm very often asked, what is the best profile to make sure to qualify? And there is no perfect profile. You just need to be honest, because there are systems in place to detect any inconsistencies. And this again goes back to what I mentioned before. If you lie, then the answers will be useless for the companies that pays. And once this has been detected, of course you will not get paid, because you are lying, you are actually cheating these sites. And then of course you should not get paid. So if you fake your profile or use different profiles to try to qualify, then you definitely should not be surprised if you will not get paid. So another mistake some people do when they take surveys is to use a VPN to hide their address, in some cases because they live in a country where they can maybe not get access to as many surveys as they can in other countries. And then they try to use a VPN to make it look like they are from a different country. But this is fraud. If a company in the US, for example, needs feedback from US customers, it's useless to have people taking those surveys from all over the world. And service sites know that some people try to cheat like this, and they have security that can detect if you do it. And this in most cases will mean that your account will be blocked and you will never be able to use it again. And even if you manage to maybe take some surveys, it will usually be detected at some point, and then you will lose all the earnings that you have made so far. So if you want to earn by taking paid service, you need to stick to the sites that are available in your country. And no matter the country you live in, there actually are some great service sites. And I also have information on my website about how to find the best sites in your specific country. And I of course also leave a link to that below this video here. So the next few points I want to go over are very closely connected. It is to avoid giving inconsistent answers, because if you say one thing Like for example, in the start of a survey, you say that you don't own a car, and then later in the same survey, you say that you own a specific car, then clearly it's inconsistent. And usually that's because people lie, because if you're honest, you will also usually be quite consistent, and they have systems in place. And if they detect this, you will usually not get paid. And the next one is then to not noticing different test questions, because surveys need you to pay attention. This does not mean that you have to overthink everything and spend 5 minutes on each question, not at all. But you need to, of course, read the question, and they use sometimes these test questions. It could, for example, be something like this: like, what places have you visited the last 12 months? And if anybody replies the moon, it is usually because they've just chosen a random answer. And of course, you will then not get paid. So if you do not read the actual questions, then it is very likely that at some point you will fall for one of these traps and you will get kicked out of the survey, of course. The last point I want to go over here is not filling out open-ended questions. Most surveys have a lot of multiple choice options, but sometimes there are also open-ended questions where you can write some text. And if you just leave these blank, or if you just write one word or something that doesn't make sense, usually this will mean that you will then not actually get paid, because it's not taking the survey serious. It does not mean you need to write a long essay or anything like that. It just means that you need to give a meaningful answer. And usually that can also be done in like 1 or 2 sentences. Mostly when I answer open-ended questions, it is like 1 or 2 sentences, and that is fine as long as you are honest and that it is a meaningful answer. So what happens if you have then made some of these mistakes already, or it happens to you at some point and you end up getting banned and not getting paid? Is there anything you can do? And that really depends on the platform, because some platforms have a zero tolerance policy and you will just get banned and never be able to use that platform again. And that particularly goes if you use something like VPNs. But in some cases, if it's by accident, then they might give you a chance if you have made some of these mistakes and you can just explain them. Or if it's just one survey, for example, you did not get paid for because you chose random answers or something like that, just learn from it and then do it properly in the next survey, and then you will avoid actually eventually getting banned completely. So in some cases, you just need to accept that you will not get your account back and you will not get your earnings back, because if you have cheated, that is how it is, and then learn from it, and then you need to use other platforms instead, and then just avoid the errors and the mistakes that I have explained in this video here, and then definitely you will get paid. So to sum it up, if you are just being honest and genuine, yes, then you definitely will get paid to take service if you use the legit sites. Not all service sites are equal for sure, some just pay more than others, so of course it's important that you choose the best service sites. And if you want even more details about how to make sure to take service correctly, and how to get the most out of these service sites, then I have a free email course that goes over all the important things you need to know, and that will also help you find the best platforms for you in your country. And you can sign up for that just by giving your email, and I have a link to that below this video here, so you can check that out. And then you will right away start getting more tips to make sure you get the most out of paid service sites and get paid to sites. And if this video helped you, then also make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about how to get the most out of get paid to sites, paid service sites, and other free ways to earn some extra cash on the site online.